Hey, welcome to another video from SkinnyMedic. One of the things that gets brought up quite a bit is about different color gloves, things like that, for your medical kits. Now, I typically do offer two colors of gloves, one for the blue, which is for the general first aid kits, and I do typically offer the black for the trauma kits. And I'm going to explain why and explain the differences you need to be concerned about. So when you're shopping for your gloves, you want to stay away from the latex, obviously. Most gloves now on the market are non-latex. You don't have to worry about people with allergies, things like that. So make sure they're non-latex and get the nitrile gloves. The ones that are clear are going to be more for the food prep type industry, and they're really thin and they won't provide you the protection that you need. So for most EMS services, most first aid kits, you're going to get a pair of gloves, something similar to this right here. My service, we actually have bright orange gloves. So you get these bright colored gloves, which is no big deal for the average first aid kit. You can see what's going on. The bright orange, like you have at my service, we joke that you can direct traffic with them, things like that. So they work well. But for some scenarios, some environments, you may not want bright orange gloves or bright blue gloves shining around. Take in case that you're in an environment where somebody has gotten shot. The bad guy still may be out there. He's still looking around what's going on. So you don't want to be waving bright orange gloves or bright blue gloves as you're putting a tourniquet on, as you're putting a pressure bandage on, things like that. So the black gloves work better. It's why a lot of military guys will wear them, a lot of police officers, things like that. In a tactical situation, black may have some advantages because obviously if the person was on the X where he got shot and you don't move him off the X, you're still on the X. So they have their advantages. Now the disadvantages here is with the black gloves, you don't see blood very well. And I'm going to show you that here right now. So one of the differences in the colored gloves is being able to see blood during your exam. So I'm not going to cut myself. I love you guys and appreciate you guys, but I'm not going to cut myself to get blood. And Mrs. SkinnyMedic wasn't going to let me cut her. So I thought the best way to do it would kind of just get some red ketchup. So kind of show you a difference here. Alright, so obviously the red there stands out. So if we're feeling up under the patient, we're looking for stuff, this is going to show up very well that we have some blood that we need to stop. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the black, and this is kind of where the disadvantage comes in for the black gloves. Okay, so now as we rub it, it's going to kind of blend in. So now if we blend this in, we can't tell the difference between this being sweat or blood if you're just looking at it, especially if it's dark. So you can see as we're rubbing this in, it just kind of blends in, it makes it look more shiny. So you can't see if this is just sweat, this is water, or blood. But once you get to feel that texture, you can feel it in a dark environment. So here's a pair of bear claws from North American Rescue. These comes in my essentials kit, also comes in my pocket kit. And you're going to see here the difference between these gloves too is they are a lot thicker. Some people like the thicker gloves, some people don't. I think that's more personal preference. I get all my hands sweaty. There we go. These also are going to come up a little bit higher too to kind of cover up the watch and stuff like that from blood, which is another advantage sometimes for longer gloves. I do sell the longer gloves in my PPE kits that I sell. So they're blue, but they are longer and they're thicker as well. So kind of introduce those in my PPE kit. So we'll kind of go here. So these, there again, we're going to see that red a little bit better here. So I figured while we were talking about gloves, I'll show off my PPE kits. Came out with these a while back. So these come with a pair of gloves, a pair of safety glasses, and an N95 mask. I'll put a link down these below. So these work really well. So consider this was a PPE kit, a personal protection equipment pouch. I wanted to make sure that you were really protected. So we put some longer gloves in there. These are blue, of course. These are size large. So, but look how far I can get these to come up on my hand. So you get a bloody patient, bloody mess. This really comes up a long way. And it's blue, so blood's going to show up. And these come in my PPE kit. It's just kind of show you the different designs too. You can see like the normal gloves come up to about here. We want the The North American ones come up a little bit higher, and then these come up a little bit higher. So you can get different length cuffs for your gloves that you can wear. So when you put a pair of gloves on, you want them obviously to go on your hand nice and tight. You don't want them too tight where you're cutting off circulation, but you don't want them too loose where you can't feel and grasp and touch stuff as well. So the glove should feel nice and firm on your hand without cutting off the circulation, and they should not tear. Even the thin ones, they should not be able to reach in there and tear them. You can see these are giving, but they're not tearing. That way if they get caught on something, you don't want them to tear. If these get tears in them, even micro tears, you might as well take them off because they're not doing you any good as far as protecting you from body substance isolation, which is why we're putting these on. And if you're looking to buy gloves, they make them in all different sizes. So here's all the way from extra small all the way to extra large. Even you guys with big old mitts can fit an extra large. So we go all the way down to extra small. So when you're buying gloves, you can buy them by the box, reasonably priced online at some big box stores. You can buy them by the box, reasonably priced, and you can get them in your size. Now it's good to probably have multiple sizes like I do here, but you can get them in a size that fits your hand. So I wanted to show you all this example right here. This was a box of gloves. Actually, I bought a case of these gloves because they were so cheap. But they're latex, so they're high risk, means they're really long like those blue ones in my PPE kit, and they're really thick as well, but they're latex. So for me, I do not have a latex allergy. I can use these. I use these around the house. I use them working on the vehicle, things like that. Mrs. SkinnyMedic has used them in the past for different projects, painting, things like that. But I would not want to use it for patient care. Even though I do not have an allergy, the patient I'm touching may be allergic to latex. So they may get a rash, have some sensitivity issues if I use these gloves on them. So thank you guys for watching. You never know when you'll be the first responder. Remember the right gear and the right training.